Hey everybody, good morning. How are you? Hope you're having a great day. Or if you're not, I hope it ends up being a great day. Because sometimes some days are rough, but they always seem to turn themselves around. If you have a bad day out there, just understand that it too shall pass. So, what are we doing today? Well, I caught up on all the foodie beauty stuff, and as you guys know, everything going on with Chantal right now is beyond shocking. She did a beach vlog, and all I can say about that is wow. I knew it was bad, but I didn't know it was that bad, but it was just that bad. But I wanted to do kind of a positive react today. So, those of you on my channel, you know that I've been keeping up with Hungry Fat Chick, Candy, and Candy has been doing the doggone thing. She has a really big channel, twice the size of Foodie Beauties, and she built her content on doing mukbangs. But she has decided that she's going to take control of her health and get things under control, and I fully support that. I support anyone who has a problem and you reach out for help because there is no shame or embarrassment in asking for help if you need it. And there's also no shame in helping yourself if you know that things are out of whack. So, Hungry Fat Chick has been on the carnivore diet and she had some bad moments and she confessed that. She used her YouTube channel to hold herself accountable and she's back on track. And the video that I'm looking at right now, she looks like she looks better, that she feels better. When she did the last video where she said she had some bad moments, I could just tell that she had been going through it. But it looks like she got back on the horse and she's starting to ride again. So kudos to you, Candy, for not giving up. But let's watch the video together and you guys can see and hear what I do. And you can give your comments in the comments below. And don't be afraid to go over to Hungry Fat Chick's channel and give her some support. Because like I said, we should all support people who have problems and they realize they have problems and they're doing their best to fix those problems, that are saying, I surrender. I have a problem. It's beyond my control. But by admitting that it's beyond my control and reaching for help, maybe I can get it under control. So let's see what Candy has to say.
Another week down. I totally stayed on track this week.
Stop right there. I just want to do this. I'm applauding you. I'm so applauding you. Good job. Really good job.
Feeling loads better. Let me turn my little fan off. Okay. Sorry about that. Yeah, so I weighed in this morning when I got up. I got up around 10:30, something like that. But I actually got plenty of sleep, which I needed.
Yeah, because that's important. For those who are not aware, when you don't get enough sleep, that might contribute to gaining weight. Lack of sleep will actually contribute to you gaining weight. Because if you don't get enough sleep, your body produces that fat hormone, the cortisol, which will cause the weight gain. Also, when you don't get enough sleep, what happens, y'all? You wake up in the morning, you're tired. What happens when you're tired? You're craving something for fuel so you can get stuff done. You're probably going to go for the carbs, the sugar to get stuff done because your body is sluggish and tired and saying, I don't want to move. And yet you're forcing it to move. So immediately your body starts craving the carbs, which would maybe not be good for you. So getting enough sleep is important. It helps with weight loss.
For some reason, I've been like fighting kind of not really full on insomnia, but I've just got a lot of energy right now. And, trying to find stuff to do with myself during the day. But I'm figuring it out.
Good, good.
So I got up and I weighed in and everything. And it's like almost 4 o'clock, 4 p.m. right now. So I've been fasting all day. I haven't eaten a thing. All I've been doing is drinking on my electrolytes and stuff, one of my coldest water bottles. I did this morning have a little protein shake with water, just water in a scoop. um, yeah, so I had that to kind of tide me over for the day. That's like 100 calories.
I really hope that you have different flavors of protein powder because variety will help you from getting too bored with it. You're just having different flavors around that way. If you drink just one flavor, if you have a moment where you get bored with that flavor, you've got another flavor that you can just kind of take over, and that will help keep you on track.
Zero carbs, so that's good. At least I think it's zero carbs. Might have a couple in it, but I wouldn't have bought it if it had carbs. But anyway, so that's been my day so far today. Um, yeah, nothing really crazy to report. I've been cooking. I've been kind of um, I had two more of my little Green Chef boxes this week, or little baggies. They give you the produce and like sauces and seasonings and things in a little grocery bag that's like folded up and stuff, and and then any kind of meat that goes with the meal, separately. So I made two meals over the last couple of days. Lots of veggies in there. Veggies. I had some Brussels sprouts, which I had been craving. Um, they were
I love that. I love the fact that she's craving the vegetables. She's not really craving the carbs. She goes, I want fresh stuff. I want produce. Give me the produce. I love that.
really good. I had that with some blackened chicken, I believe. Um, yeah, I can't remember exactly what I had, but anyway, I had chicken and Brussels sprouts, and last night I had little steak tenderloins with all sorts of vegetables, mushrooms, um, onion, bell pepper. Um, yeah, I think that's almost it. Cabbage was in it. Yeah, it was.
And I think the meal plan situation is a good idea. Like if she's getting whether it's a meal in a bag or a meal in a box, it helps because not only does it give you healthy food, but you're also getting a good idea of portion sizes at the same time. What a real normal portion size looks like. Because if you don't eat normal portions and that's your norm, you kind of don't have an idea or you forget what a normal portion should be. So getting something in a bag where you just have that amount of food, it kind of like gives you something to compare your portions to and kind of put things back in perspective.
Oh goodness. Anyway, so I'll show pictures and I'll, kind of give the recipes and stuff. But I did not stick with the recipes because one of the meals, I think the chicken one, it had the Brussels sprouts, then it had the chicken, but then it was supposed to have mashed potatoes. And
Oh.
in the little kit, it gave me the potatoes and then all the stuff to go in like a loaded mashed potato. Well, what I did was I made a loaded Brussels sprouts.
Yay! Everybody, let's cheer. Yay. So they gave her the mashed potatoes, and she was like, I don't want that. You know what? It's okay. If you said, I don't want the mashed potatoes, I don't need the mashed potatoes, let's just 86 that. Good for you. You're like, nope, nope, I want to eat healthy. Screw these mashed potatoes. That's how you do it.
And threw the potatoes in the trash.
All right.
It was just a little handful of.
I'm so proud of her. She could have just said, I'm going to make the whole doggone thing and eat the whole doggone thing. She could have had the potatoes. She said, nope, nope.
Little gold potatoes. And, I know that wouldn't have hurt me, but, it's carbs and I'm not doing carbs right now. So,
There you go.
out.
That's exactly it.
But I took pictures of the two meals that I made. So, yeah, I didn't follow the instructions though. I'm bad about that.
But it's okay. The instructions gave you a meal. You saw one portion of the meal. You're like, no, not right now. Do I really need those carbs? Not right now. And you said, you chucked it. You could have given in and said, I'll eat it anyway. And that would it maybe might have made you spiral, but you're like, no, I don't want to spiral. I want to stay on track. I'll have the meat, I'll have the veggies, and that's it. So good for you.
For one of the recipes, I was supposed to put the some of the vegetables onto a baking sheet and put them in an oven. And I was like, you know what? I don't need to do that. And the only thing it was lacking, because I went ahead and just sauteed the vegetables, was, a little charred flavor, so whatever. If I'd have cooked them longer in the pan, I'd have got a char on them too. But I didn't worry about it. I just cooked them up and ate them.
You know what? Let's do the applause the right way. There we go.
Having the element here. Still not sponsored, but that's okay. They're not my favorite, actually, to be honest, so far. They're a little extra salty, but it's a little better putting it in a bigger container. Probably need just a little bit bigger container for it to not be quite as, but that's what it is. Electrolytes. It's sodium, magnesium, potassium. Um,
Hey, Coldest, hook your girl up with the biggest water bottle, one of the biggest ones you got. She earned it.
yeah. But anyway, so I did my weigh in this morning. Still on track. Still, doing a lot better. Definitely have my inflammation is down. Still not gone, obviously, because, well, anyway, I've got arthritis in my hip as well as the sciatica that's still kind of irritating me. I have the pains and stuff and nerve pain going down my legs once in a while, but I don't know. For the most part, I'm still just getting around better. I can't complain. I'm getting around a lot better.
I've dealt with sciatica in the past. It sucks to have that sharp shooting pain go from your back down to your leg. Oh, it sucks. But you know what helps the most with sciatica? The one thing you don't want to do, and that's move. Walking around, that actually helps the nerve pain.
There's no way in hell I'm going outside anywhere right now, though. It was 114 degrees out there just before I started recording this. So, whoo, hell no. I'm like enjoying my air conditioning. Thank you, thank you. There is no need for me to get out there in that heat right now.
You know what, Candy? I don't know the size of your place. It doesn't look like it's too terribly small. Have you ever considered just getting like a treadmill and putting it in your house? And that way you can take a walk on it whenever you want. And that way you'll be in the air conditioning. And if you have to get off of it, you can just get off of it and still be at home, because that would be a good way to kind of burn some calories.
I'll save that for the fall. By then I should be, doing even better than I am right now. Anyway, so besides, all the health journey kind of stuff and the weight stuff, yeah, I'm still doing my same old things. Watching The Witcher, watching True Blood. I mentioned that in my last video. This will probably be like the 8th time I've watched True Blood. It's a classic. I mean, it's just a classic. And yeah, it kind of got far out towards the last few seasons, but even before that, I mean, by the second season, it wasn't even anything to do with the books, which I'm working on right now. I'm on the 4th book right now, Club Dead, in the Sookie Stackhouse series. I'm also working on the Laurel K. Hamilton, Anita Blake Vampire Hunter series, which is really good. I'm getting ready to.
I can appreciate that Candy, she's doing these vlogs. And unlike Foodie Beauty, when she sits down and do a vlog, she's not just hyper fixated on food. She's talking about other things. She's talking about the books that she's reading and the movies and the series that she's watching. By taking the fixation off of food and putting on other things, that's a healthy state of mind, or getting healthy state of mind.
On the 25th, I'll get a new Audible credit. I bought 3 last month and got one, so I got 4 books last month. I love it. I mean, any kind of downtime when I'm not, doing anything in particular, in the bathroom, in the bedroom, just, chilling out.
Well, since you love to read books, Candy, perhaps I can pass along a little advice about that since I also love to read. My big thing is I love to read poetry books, all kinds of poetry, but especially beatnik poetry, which is more abstract and out there and a little bit more harsh and more real. But there's lots of different poetry out there. But anywho, little helpful tip for you if you're interested. I always go on Amazon and I look for books that I like. And I'm not one of those book snobs that it has to be brand new, it has to be first or second edition. I don't give a hoot about that. I'll go on Amazon and I look for books that are used because they're usually discounted because somebody else has owned them before and buy them for a discounted price. Because honestly, it doesn't matter if a book is brand new or it's used. It's still the same. Like all the words are going to be the same inside and it's going to read the same. So if you're interested in books, like my two suggestions would be to go to used bookstore. I know it's hot outside, so you probably don't want to do that. But go on Amazon because they offer books of all kinds. And if they're used, you might be able to get them kind of cheap. And that way you can get some more books.
Stuff like that. When I just can't find anything on TV that I want to watch, which I'm spoiled for choice. I've got almost every damn streaming service there is, plus the free ones, which are really good actually. Tubi's got a lot of stuff on it. Um, yeah, I got a couple of really good free streaming services. Um, but yeah, so um, y'all know me. I don't do a lot. I have minimal interests at the moment. I'm hoping as my brain continues to clear, I will rediscover some older hobbies and things.
You will. You will. I know it's hard right now because it's hot outside and you're like, it's so hot. I don't want to go outside right now. I get it. So you're like, I just want to stay inside and I want to stay comfortable. I don't want to overheat because overheating is a thing. But over time, you're going to find you have more energy and you're able to do more. And the summertime is almost over. So we're going to be moving into fall, which means the temperatures are going to get even lower or they won't be as severe. And maybe by that time, have lost enough to where you want to go outside and do things. And I absolutely support that. I support going on walks, just walking outside and getting in the fresh air. It can clear your mind. It can make you feel better. So just don't worry about it for right now. Like you're focusing on your health and that's important. Uh, you're keeping yourself busy, you're reading books, you're watching movies, as I suggested. Maybe getting like a little treadmill and putting it in your house. And that way, whenever you want to take a walk, you could take a walk on the treadmill. If you want to put on your favorite TV show or series while you're walking, and that way you're not really paying attention to how long you're on the treadmill, that can help too.
Um, I used to try to draw stuff. I'm not good at it at all.
Don't worry, girl, neither am I. I suck at drawing. Like I admire art. I admire the creativity of other people, no matter what shape it's in. It's always interesting to see the creativity of other people. And sometimes they take things that you're like, I never thought someone could be creative with that. And they are. And the result is amazing. I do admire art and creativity. I've always been a wordsmith though. Like my paint, my palette has always been a pen and paper, just expressing myself through words. But don't worry about not being able to draw because I'll be happy to draw a stick figure the right way.
But the only way to get better is to practice. I mean, Um, I went to
Well, you know what? If you have a true interest in art, again, passing on along something you might want to know, or anybody else who watches this, if you're someone and you have those creative tendencies that revolve around painting something, just remember, if you're watching this video, you're watching it on YouTube. And whether you are interested in being an artist with paint or pen or cooking or calligraphy or sculpture, whatever you want, you're on YouTube. There's everything you need to know is on YouTube. Anything you want to know is on YouTube. There are tutorials for everything. You want to build something, you want to create something, there's probably like a bazillion tutorials on YouTube just for that. You want to learn how to belly dance, you want to learn any kind of dance on YouTube. All you got to do is search. You know, YouTube isn't just a place for watching TV shows and music videos. There are tutorials on anything and everything you want to know. So anybody watching this, if there's anything inside of you that's creative that wants to come out, take some time and seek out tutorials, seek out those recipes, seek out that advice. People put it on YouTube. It's there. You have YouTube. Use it for that also, and let that creativity come out.
basically in high school, I did some art classes. I did some art classes in grade school. So, and at one point, I think just before I didn't graduate high school, I got a GED, but just before I left high school, I should say, um, I had a watercolor painting
Mhm.
that our class had to do. That was like a Disney Christmas scene. And I did this painting of Mickey Mouse, yeah, sitting in his armchair in front of the fireplace with the stockings hung up and stuff. And my painting was one of the ones that was selected to go to Epcot Center at Disney World in Florida.
Well, there you go. So obviously it was impressive.
So that was really cool. And it was there for a year at the Teachers Center at Epcot. Um, so it was there for a year, and when they finally sent it back to me, I gave it to one of my girlfriends for her baby boy that she had just recently had. You know, she's a young mother, and um, she took my baby's name. She took my baby's name. I told her which name that I would have wanted to name my son, you know, if I had a son, which I did later on. And it was Dylan. Dylan, what a cute name. Some total 90210 stuff, I guess, that I never even watched, but I just like that name, Dylan. Um, anyway, so little Dylan, I don't know if he would still have it or if his mama would have it, but yeah, so that was, you know, a gift.
You notice something though, Candy? You talk about this thing from your past where you did something creative and people obviously liked it because it was in the Epcot Center for a year. But you're talking on it from a sense of accomplishment. You were so proud of what you did that you remembered what you did and you're talking about it. You're still proud of that. So, what would happen if you were creative now and doing creative things? Like you would get a sense of accomplishment of that, which is what happens when you're artistic. You do something and then you stand back and go, I did that. I did that. That came out of my imagination. And I'm so proud of that. I encourage exploring that side of yourself because not only is it a great outlet for your creativity, but it's also great if you're trying to move away from bad habits. It gives you somewhere to put your attention on where you can focus your attention and you're not hurting yourself with food.
Uh, shoot. I used to write a lot of poetry too back in high school,
Oh,
like a lot of poetry. And I actually still have a collection of some of the angstiest teen poetry ever. And not just angsty teen poetry, but just like, I think I was going at the time for this Lovecraftian style, just total morbidity. I mean, it is just dark, like really dark, like horror type poetry.
By the way, Candy, did you know, and for anybody else who might be writers or poets, did you know that you could self-publish? Like, I'm not seeing your poetry, but if it's good, you could take all that poetry and put it into a book and self-publish. And a lot of people that are writers, we are our own worst critics. We are. We suck. When you are artistic, you are your own worst critic. Somebody else could say to your work, "This is great." And you're like, "No, no, this sucks. I need to change this. I need to change that." You will examine every little detail and you're like, "I suck." When you don't suck. It's just that you're being your own worst critic. But you say you've got all that poetry, consider self-publishing because that could give you a sense of accomplishment. And it's not as hard as it sounds. Again, there are tutorials on YouTube for everything you want to know. So, anybody out there who's a writer and you've written up something and you like it or you showed it to other people and they like it, don't wait around for a publishing company to come around and say, "Hey, I love your book," because sometimes that takes years. If you've got something worth seeing, think about self publishing. Just put it out there, man. Like, what's the harm? It's not going to hurt to try. So think about publishing your writing, Candy. That could be something else along with the painting you did for Epcot Center that you could be proud of and focus on.
That was kind of my, you know, dark was kind of my thing in high school. I was the black trench coat wearing nearly punk with the freaking skunk street kind of
Sounds like you were goth.
headbanger person. That was me in high school. Nicknamed Killer. Stupid. But yeah, so the poetry, I still have a few of those. And the poetry didn't stop in the teenage years. I did some poems in my 20s and some in my 30s too, and I have some of those as well. But um,
Put it all together into one book. You can kind of make the book where it's like, like you're a journey through the years of your life. Include the poetry and the writings of when you were young, like, and you were going through your punk, goth, angst years, all the way up till now. That'd be an interesting read. Like, you could put it all together and go, wow, I have changed. Look how my poetry and my writing has changed.
in high school, no, in grade school, there were these competitions, like poetry competitions. I don't know why, but my literature or English teacher or whatever had presented us with the idea of something called a bio poem. And it's where the first letter of every stanza in the poem is a first letter, of a word. So I did a poem about lava or something like that, and then I did another one called Blood, because budding little darkling child in probably eighth grade, seventh or eighth grade. But I forget which one it was, and I forget. Um, I don't even remember what it was, what the word was that I did for the bio poem. It wasn't those two. It was a much longer one, but that actually won an award. I think it won like second place or something like that.
Well, look at you. First, you did a painting that they hung in the Epcot Center. And you're winning poetry competitions, Candy. It sounds like you've got some creative juices inside of you, and you should let them out. You have that creativity for a reason, not just for you to be creative, but the reason why people who are creative, they have that inside them is because we're meant to share it with other people and inspire other people. You never know, something that you write or that you create, somebody else might see it or read it and go, wow, that makes me want to be creative. And they may start writing or they may start painting because of something that you put out there. Think about that, how you can inspire people in all kinds of ways, including that way.
And I kind of, got a little rep for being a little poetry person, to the point where in high school, I had um, I had somebody buy a poem from me at one point.
Really?
Like they had me actually write like this love poem for them and their boyfriend, and they paid me for it. So I got paid for my poetry. Actually got some poetry published once too. I
Oh,
mean, it was dumb. I think it was like poetry.com or something like that, but I had one published. Oh goodness. And it was wicked morbid too. I mean, the title was Blood and
actually, you know what? I had a poem that was published by Reader's Digest. They had like a little poetry contest and I won it. And it had to do with womanhood. And the whole premise of the poem was I got the inspiration off of how women, we tend to uh, envy each other. You can have a beautiful woman walk in a room full of other women, even though she's done nothing wrong, she says nothing wrong, other women will hate her. So it's like a big circle of different phases of womanhood and the envy that comes from with each one. So the poem started out with you see this old woman and she's sitting in a park alone on a bench and she sees a young mother walk by with her child and she envies her because of the family that she doesn't have. And then the young mother with the child, she's walking past a restaurant and she sees a career businesswoman with the expensive business suit drinking the power martini and she envies her for the independence that she doesn't have because she's a mom taking care of her kids. Uh, so the career businesswoman, no, I'm sorry, let me go back. So the mother is walking in the park and she sees some teenage girls and she envies them for the youth and the freedom that they have. And then the teenage girls go walking past the diner with the career woman and they envy her for the maturity and the power and just being adult and being control that she has. Then the career woman happens to see the mother with the child and envies her for the family that she has that she doesn't have because she's so busy working. Then the mother and child go walking back in the park and the woman with the child envies the older woman for the serenity and the quiet that she doesn't have because she's got her family. So it's a complete circle. You get all these different these women in different stages of their adulthood and womanhood that they look at each other and they're like, I envy this person for this reason, and they're not seeing it from the other side. So yeah, that was my poem that won the award.
Human Remains. And it was basically about lost love or tragic love, stuff like that. Tragic to the point where, you know, it was pretty much, it was a mess. It was pretty much a mess. So, God, I don't even want to attempt to read that poem to you guys. I mean, it got published, so it had to be good. It wouldn't have been my favorite, though. Out of all the ones I did, it wouldn't have been my favorite. But anyway, so that was another hobby. Writing little short stories. Uh, People have suggested to me all the time that I try to write some kind of novel or some kind of memoirs or something like that, but I don't think I have it in me. Um, the most I've ever been able to squeeze out as far as holding a particular thought in my head is like a short story, like, you know, just a couple of pages, if that much. Mm,
You could write up a bunch of short stories and publish those. I mean, those are popular.
excuse me. But I don't know. I've got all kinds of things in the back, uh, hobby type things that I could be playing with. I got myself a ukulele. I've
Oh,
got a theremin for my
okay.
musical interests.
Theremins are really interesting. They have a very unique sound. They're huge, but they have a very unique sound.
Got my makeup. I could play with my makeup back there. Up here, I just have like, a couple of different potential looks. I got some eyeshadow palettes and, just my basic stuff. But I don't know. Right now, I'm pretty happy just playing video games and watching TV shows and movies. It's stories, that I think that's something that I just really enjoy. I like stories. It's like I'm not producing stories, I'm not creating them, but I like to consume them.
A little recommendation, Candy, is a great TV show, The Mandalorian. I think you get into it. It's sarcastic, it's funny, it's well written. I love Baby Grogu. This is the way. I think I have a few seasons of Mandalorian, so it would take a while for you to get through. I don't know if you're like a science fiction type person, but if you love Star Wars, if you know Star Wars, then you'll understand the Mandalorian. So give that a look if you haven't already.
If that makes sense. I like to just take in the stories, and then my retention is really horrible. So it's like I don't know what I'm taking the stories in for. Uh, so I'm uploading it to the collective consciousness, maybe, who knows. But anyway, so yeah, I started playing Neverwinter. I've played it before. I mean, I obviously played it before because when I downloaded it and set it up last night, I already had a character there ready to go. So that's what I did last night, and I played it a little bit today. But I'm really enjoying Skyrim. Dang, that's just
Everybody's talking about this doggone game. I feel left out. Everybody's been telling me you should play Skyrim. I checked out Skyrim. Skyrim is not a cheap game to buy, but I've heard it's really good. I want to play doggone Skyrim. I want to know what the noise is all about.
my favorite thing. And I'm in a game right now that I've gotten further probably than I've ever gotten, as far as completing a whole bunch of quests and stuff. So yeah. Anyway, tonight.
I will say, Candy, look, I understand you love playing your video games, and I am not going to criticize that because I love video games also. I have a bunch on my second computer. I love playing Steam games, and yes, I'm cheap. I have a wish list on Steam, and I always look for the sales and the discounts because, doggone it, if I can pay $8 for a $30 game, I'm all about that life. Because then I can buy more games and I can buy them faster. But be careful getting into a game where you're constantly grinding and they encourage you to, okay, you got to go into dungeons, you got to go into raids, and you got to spend hours and hours upon time in raids just to get one drop in gear and all this stuff. You will lose your life in a game like that. Like you literally will just spend hours and days and weeks playing that game. I know because I played World of Warcraft, and that's how World of Warcraft is set up anymore. Like you play something like World of Warcraft, you have no life. I mean, you don't have to sit there and play constantly, but you want to. And the next thing you know, like a week has gone by, and you're like, where did my time go? So playing video games for enjoyment is good, but try to have some other interest on top of that.
I've got one of those green chef meals left, but I think I'm gonna save that till tomorrow because I bought some groceries, and I think for tonight my meal is gonna be two little. I mean, and they're really little, like tortilla pizzas.
Mm.
So I'm fasting. It's after 4 p.m. right now, and I'll be fasting till at least 6. So that if I eat one little pizza at 6 and the next pizza at 8 o'clock, maybe they're just gonna be little. They're zero carb tortillas from Mission zero carb tortillas. I'll put like a little tablespoon of that Rouse pizza sauce on them. Just probably, one serving each of mozzarella and then a serving each of pepperoni. So I'm probably going to be way under my calories today. And I don't know if y'all know this, but I'm not only like trying to eat cleaner and like home cooked and stuff like that, staying away from takeout and things, but I'm eating OMAD like one meal a day, typically. Like yesterday, I did 2 meals, and I'll show you. I had the little steak and egg bites for breakfast. I had 6 olives for a snack because I bought some olives.
Okay, so I'm curious now. Y'all, hold on. I don't know what OMAD is. Okay, so it's information. OMAD stands for one meal a day. The idea is to fast for 23 hours straight and then consume one large meal in a 60-minute window. The OMAD diet is proposed to be a weight loss method as well as a way to tackle chronic disease and other health issues. So, looking on our friend Google, it says, is the OMAD diet healthy? They say, while experts agree that there are benefits to intermittent fasting, they also note the risk of the OMAD diet and fasting in general. The OMAD diet severe restriction may lead to, disordered eating and make it extremely challenging to meet daily nutrient needs for vitamins, minerals, and fiber. So I hope that you are seeing a doctor, Candy, and monitoring your health and staying on top of that. I don't like what I'm reading right now. It's saying it may lead to disordered eating. You're already dealing with a problem with food, so I don't know if that would be the best for you. I know that you're looking for something good for you, but I hope that you are going to therapy. I hope that you are under doctor supervision, just to make sure that nothing bad happens.
Yesterday as well. And that was 75 calories for the 6 olives. They're pretty big olives though. And for dinner, I had probably a serving and a half of the Green Chef meal, and I couldn't finish it. So, and I was still under calories yesterday by 300. So, go me. So, intermittent fasting, basically, OMAD, one meal a day, plus calorie deficit. You know,
Just be careful with that, Candy, because if you restrict, uh, you can get really, really hungry and then have a bad moment just because you are so hungry. So just be careful with that. That might strengthen the urge to want to go overboard. So just be very, 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 very careful.
uh, so I'm just, I'm not trying to brag. I'm really not. I'm just very, very proud of myself. Very,
Well, you should be. You really should be. You've accomplished much. You went almost 30 days doing the what do you call it, diet, the carnivore diet. You had a bad moment. You're back on the horse. Now you're doing the OMAD. So just be careful with your health. Make sure to see a doctor. Have some tests done. Make sure you're all right. You know,
very proud of myself right now for just my stick to itiveness, my willpower. I'm like, I'm owning it. you know, Battle on. I mean, I'm not doing a whole lot of exercise right now other than getting in the kitchen and walking around the apartment, but I'm doing a lot more arm stuff, and I
that's
don't want to
good.
like doing a lot more arm exercises and stretches.
Well, I don't know how much money you got over there as far as play money, but if you've got the money, maybe you can go and get a treadmill. That way, like I said, you can walk in your house anytime you want. You can just set it up or have somebody set it up just right there in your apartment. And you can step on that thing and just walk for as little or as long as you like. And you're not out in the public, dealing with the heat. You can also get some arm weights, like 5 pound, 10 pound arm weights. And that way you can do your arm exercises sitting down, and that might help your arm strength.
And stuff. And
Maybe you can get some resistance bands and you can use that in a variety of different ways, sitting down, laying down, and that might help with, or, you can get more mobility or just flexibility that way.
Um, been wanting to put on one of my little seated qigong videos and do that whole thingy. That's pretty fun to do.
By the way, I also recommend doing yoga. And I know a lot of people, when they think of yoga, they think of all kinds of really stretchy positions and downward dog and all that. But believe it or not, there's a variety of ways to do yoga. You can do yoga laying down. It's all about what makes you feel comfortable and what you're able to do. Like there's low impact yoga and there's really strenuous yoga, but you can start out low. That helps to stretch everything out. And it also helps makes you feel better. And it also helps you to sleep better as well.
um,
And there's all kinds of videos, like I said, on YouTube. You want to do yoga, you want to do meditation. There's all kinds of videos for that on YouTube. Anybody out there, you're interested in that, don't be afraid to seek it out.
yeah. So, not trying to be an inspiration to anybody. I'm just, everybody's got to find their own way.
Right.
Do your research. Don't take my word for anything. Do your research. If you have a little bit of interest in like carnivore or keto or what have you, talk to your doctor. I
Mhm.
don't have a doctor right now, so
Andy, shame on you. Mama, you should have a doctor. You should go get seen and make sure you're okay. Naughty girl. Make sure to see your doctor, ma'am.
so I'm just winging it because that's the way I do things.
Yeah, but you know what? You want to make sure that not only are you successful in what you do, but you also want to make sure you're healthy. That's important. Don't think about the pounds and how fast they come off. Make sure, mama, that you are healthy. You want to be as healthy as you can be and as you should be all the way through from now until whenever. So don't be afraid to see a doctor. Don't be afraid to get a doctor involved. They're not an enemy, they're your friend. They will let you know where you're sitting at health wise and what you can do safely. And that way, this path that you're on, you can do it in a healthy way.
Not an example, people. Not an example for anybody. I just I'm unmedicated as far as my mental health, so I just fly by the seat of my pants. That's how I live. Don't recommend it. Not at all. But anyway, so do your research if you're interested in something. There's crap tons of YouTube videos about any kind of diet and any kind of things you should be eating or not eating, and the health risks of this or that or whatever. So,
And that's why you need to see a doctor. Go in for a checkup and they can check you up. They can do your blood work. They can check your organs. They can see what's going on inside. Like if you take your car in for a checkup, they're going to check all the electronics, correct? They're going to check your tires. They're going to check your engine, make sure there's no problems that might surface later. The human body is no different. Like if you had an unhealthy lifestyle for a while, you want to know where you're sitting at. And if you go to a doctor, they can say, okay, this is what your health looks like. And this is what we recommend as far as activity. So if you ever feel like being active, you know how much you can safely do. And then you can keep periodically going back and they can let you know, okay, you can do a little bit more. You can do a little bit more. Don't be afraid of a doctor, Candy.
Google, YouTube, all the information's out there. The
Yeah, okay. Google is great. YouTube is great for seeking out information. But in order to know what's going on inside of you, that's why you need to go to a doctor.
journey that I'm taking you guys on is just one week to the next. Am I hanging in there? I'm hanging in there. Hanging in there for now. So anyway, you guys, I'll put up the food stuff and the weigh in and all that stuff somewhere, beginning or end. I don't know which yet. And I'll also do a little bit of video on my little pizzas, and I'll include that for you guys. Hey y'all, there she is. It's Friday, July 21st, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm about to do my weekly weigh in for you guys. Okay, yeah, I was 415.6, then 415.4 on Tuesday. So, alrighty, let's see if I can get up there. Oh, move my thing out of the way here. Alrighty.
Hello. It's ready.
It's ready.
Okay.
Oh, shoot.
Oh,
Okay.
careful, careful.
All right, get my hand in there. Mm.
411.4 pounds.
411.4. She's going down, down, down.
And I think that's great. And I think that you losing weight is great motivation. But I'm going to say it again. Sorry to repeat myself. Candy, I know that the losing the pounds motivates you, but just please do things in a healthy way. Don't be afraid to go see your doctor. I can't get the fact that you didn't see a doctor yet out of my head. It you want to go out, you want to be active at some point, you want to know how much activity you can do, mama. The pounds will come off. You're on a good path. You're getting the results as far as the weight loss, but make sure the insides of you are okay.
Okay. Woo, I'm happy about that. All right.
Okay, what do we got here? Oh, she split it too quickly.
Down, down.
Okay, we're gonna stop right here. So where do we start at? So she was at 419 and we're down to a 411 pounds. So this was the 2nd of July, and today is today's the 23rd for me, but this was her last weigh-in was the 21st. So we're down about 8 pounds. That's good.
Uh, Here we have blackened chicken with a tangy aioli sauce. Uh, Loaded Brussels sprouts. Yep, it's got everything in it loaded potatoes would have, but it's Brussels sprouts.
And I love the fact that she just chucked the potato.
My 600-calorie breakfast, some leftover ribeye steak, and two red pepper Swiss egg white bites from Green Chef with some sugar-free ketchup on top. 600 calories, not too bad. Here we have a double portion of beef tenderloin over vegetables, which include
That looks like a lot of food.
mushrooms, bell peppers, onions, pepinos. I think that's sunflower seeds, but I'm not sure. Some kind of seeds. Um, yeah, and cabbage with a creamy chimichurri sauce. Mm-hmm.
I look, I don't know how big that plate is, but it looks pretty large, but she's eating one meal a day. So I hope it is healthy.
Here are the ingredients for my little mini pizzas. I got my air fryer grill heating up. Alrighty, I got about a little over half a serving of the mozzarella cheese and a little over half a serving of pepperonis. Calories, so not a full meal or not enough for the day anyway. Okay, y'all, let's see how they taste.
Well, little recommendation, Candy. This may help you. Uh, I know you were doing the carnivore diet. So if you want something that tastes like steak but isn't steak, recommendation portobello mushrooms. When you cook them up, they taste like steak. They're a little bit lighter than steak, but they taste like steak. And you can do all kinds of things with a portobello mushroom cap. Uh, One of the things that my exes used to do, and it tastes really good, is to take a portobello mushroom cap, like take the stem off and just have the cap, and marinate it in liquid smoke, little olive oil, garlic, and just grill it like that. It does taste like a steak. And if you want to go further with that, you can take the cap itself and put all kinds of stuff on it, like healthy stuff. You can put basil leaves, you can put some mozzarella cheese, you could put some little cherry tomatoes, and just do kind of variations with that. And it tastes like steak. So if you ever get sick of eating actual steak, look into that.
There's a little bit of crisp on the edges. Not bad. It's pizza. Okay. For spending time with me today.
Okay, so that's pretty much it for her vlog. So everybody has been asking me to check up with Miss Candy. It looks like she's doing well, although I think she needs a spanking for not going to the doctor. Candy, 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 Mama, much love over here. Get your butt to the doctor, please. Pretty please. Get checked out. That way, when it gets cooler outside, you can go outside safely and have a good time. All right. So that's it for this vlog react. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you have, please like and subscribe and leave a comment. Thank you so much for being here and have a good one. Bye bye.